I wonder if Rahab was congratulated for lying. Rahab is congratulated for being a woman of faith in Hebrews chapter 11. And in Joshua chapter 2, she is congratulated because she feared the king of heaven more than she feared her own king, the king of Jericho. And therefore, by faith, Rahab, the text says, doesn't say by lying Rahab, but by faith Rahab. So the Bible throws the accent on faith. But this is to bring out the point that because the Bible commends a person in one area, it does not mean they commend them in all areas. David was a man after God's own heart, but I don't think the Bible thinks that David's sin with Bathsheba was good. Solomon also was a man that God loved. He called him Jedediah, loved of the Lord. But I can think of 1,000 reasons why God wouldn't like some of the things Solomon did with his 1,000 wives. So I think we've got to put that into perspective. So with Rahab, you say, well, what could she do? Here are two spies that come from Israel. They come to her establishment, which was the local beer hall, and she also apparently was part of the CIA. In that day, the women who served the drinks were also the ones who listened for the government, and they became the eyes and ears of the government. We know this from Hammurabi's Law Code and other places too. And she was a harlot. The biblical text calls her a harlot. So she ran a house of ill repute. But the spies she recognizes, and she said, "We have heard what God did for you down in Egypt. We heard about the Red Sea. We heard about Sihon and Og." And she said, and I particularly, I believe that that God is the God of heaven and earth. And the biblical text says that woman was saved because of her faith. But on the other hand, I don't think that the Bible approves of her lying. I think that that's another matter, and it's another illustration that the Bible only teaches some things, but it records a lot of other. And we must make the distinction between what the Bible records and what the Bible teaches. The Bible records that the fool said in his heart there is no God, but it doesn't teach that. It said the dummy said that, and at least he had the sense enough not to blurt it out. He said it in his heart. And if you ask me, well, what could Rahab have done? I mean, if the Nazis are at the door knocking at your door, what are you supposed to tell them? Who, me? Jews? I don't know what Jews are. That's lying, it seems to me. Or to say, no, there are no Jews here, because I'm supposed to choose the greater good and say life is better than truth? No. I think what I should do is to say, if you think that there are Jews in here and I'm hiding spies, come in and look. She should have hid them well and then prayed that God would have made them especially stupid. But I don't think she has a right to lie. I don't think she has a right to give up life. These are non-conflicting absolutes. So like 1 Corinthians 10, it said, no temptation has taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will, with the temptation, with the test, provide a way of escape. And I think God will provide a way of escape in that situation. Some say, yes, but if she hides the spies, isn't she lying in action? One fellow was debating with me, and he said, Walter, what do you do at night? Do you turn on the light when you go out at night and leave the house? Yes. Well, he says, see, you're lying. You're saying, don't come into this house, I'm home. And he says, that's a form of lying. And I said, no, that's for the dog. We keep the lights on for the dog. But anyway, it seems to me that Rahab is a woman of faith and not cited for her lying. And the Bible doesn't take up all of those things, nor does it moralize and say, dear reader, did you see that? Look what she just did. She lied. But it doesn't stop to give us a little commentary on all of them.